take a look at... today we're going to look at patch 11.9. We're going to do a video on 11.9 and then a video on the new cards for Heritage. I want to do the Heritage first, but the last two cards aren't out yet, and they released the patch notes. So we're just going to do the patch notes first and come back and do the Heritage cards later. So, last card drop, very sad. We'll see how many changes they make. I heard they're making a lot of changes to cards to help fill in the missing archetypes and just, stuff. So let's take a look. Heritage, final card drop. I'm still holding out hope with like a decent amount of belief that Witcher 4 will have like a Gwent 2 or something. So, we'll see. But anyway, moving on to what we actually have here. Changes neutral. Ooh, we got quite a few here, actually. So, Ale the Ancestors gains resilience. Already, that's pretty nice. That's actually quite nice. And then what's the rest of the effects? Deal order, boost the item by 3, infuse it. When it's targeted by Ale or Golden Froth, and boost self by 2. I like this. I like this quite a bit. So, just giving it resilience on its own negates its big weakness, right? Its big weakness was it was really expensive, didn't do very much, but its other weakness, where if you play it, and then you give something 3 points, and the opponent passes, you played 3 for 12, which is awful. But resilience means that won't happen as much, because you can carry it over to the next round, and then you can just, use it 3 or 4 times in that round and get your value. So that's quite nice. It also means its limit... If you're not playing mod or anything, you could probably use this thing cooldown 2. You can probably use it like 6 times, so 18 value over those 2 rounds. Assuming you play unit on the first turn and play this. So that's pretty good actually. 18 for 12 is decent value. The resilience and spreading out the points is nice. I think you definitely want to get some value from the infused effect, but Mahakam Ale is actually a pretty good card. I use that in a few decks actually, especially in Skellige, where you want to boost. But yeah, the unlock is quite nice on Ale. And it also, since Ale's an unlock, not purify, you'll keep the infused effect and get those bonus 2 points, I imagine. It unlocks first, so that's nice. And Golden Froth you can make off Mushy Truffle, so again, probably more so for Skellige, where you want to play those Druids, for example, in an Alchemy deck. Maybe we'll try that out. Yeah, I'm excited to try this out. I think we'll try it out in Druids, but that should be fun. Colossal Ifrit, ability change to Zeal Order, damage 3 units on the opposite row by 0, increased by 1 for each construct you play to this game. I believe there are, construct. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason this is open is because I recorded this video and didn't turn the mic on, so we're back to where we were before. We have Living Armor. This is where we cut off the video earlier to start re-recording, because I forgot to hit the mic, and I checked and it was off. Anyway, so Living Armor, just talked in my screen for a while. Living Armor is decent, especially in Tatterwing, but we have these 6. There are also the guys off of Blightmaker, the Guardian, and Cynthia, I want to say. Yeah, so these guys make the Guardian on the top of the opponent's deck. This one makes the top of the opponent's deck. This one spawns it. But it only counts the constructs you played, so it doesn't make Nilfgaard the best construct faction. Unless, I have an idea here. We can put the Guardian on top of the opponent's deck with Cynthia. We Vilgefortz them to pull off the Guardian. Then we start Duchess Informanting to make a whole bunch of them. And then our Colossal Ifrit does like 10 damage. I don't know if that's any good. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not good. But it'd be really funny for like a meme video. But yeah, overall though, if you're going to play like 3 or 4 constructs, this has Zeal Order. It's not changing its power or provisions, so it's what, a 10? A 5 for 10 or 6 for 10? I think it's 6, got buffed to 6, right? Oops, I want a construct. Let's click that. I always forget to reset the filters. Oh, it's a 5. So at 5, if it comes down, it hits 3 things for 3. That's 14. It does have to hit different units for this, though. So the value I'm not sure it's going to be enough value. We'll have to see. If there's ways to replay constructs, or maybe if they give something else a construct tag, maybe we'll see there. But as it is, I think if you're making a construct deck, this could be a decent finisher. But you really want to get a lot of value out of this thing. So 4, 5. When you get to 4 or 5, it's really good because you just kill engines. Then again, you don't always want to be killing engines after they set up 3 of them, because that's not ideal, but we'll see. Cyprian Wily. That is Junior, right? Pretty sure that's Junior. The neutral one that like banished. So banished. Power limit of the target changed from 3 to 4. Okay, good. I like this. I was saying this. I've said this before. I think he should. I remember. I don't remember what video I said this in, but I've said that Cyprian should be 4. I'm pretty sure Cyprian Wiley is just Junior's real name, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I think it's the neutral one that banishes. I mean, I know which one that is, but I'm pretty sure that lore-wise, that's... Yeah, banish a 4. Yeah, it's definitely Junior. So yeah, that's interesting. I like that. The thing is, the best target for him used to be Madoc, because he was like the only 3 you'd really want to consistently banish. But at 4, you can now reach a lot of engine cards. And just think about Offering. People play Offering just to destroy 4 power guys, because sometimes you get something pretty valuable with that, if it's a low-ish power unit with a good ability. Maybe we'll see this guy see some play. I think at banish a 4, he potentially gets decent value, right? He's a 5, so he gets 9 for 8. Not quite as good. Wow. Not quite as good as Toad Prince for tempo and value, but if that thing he banished needs to be banished, whereas Toad Prince puts it in the graveyard for him to revive, maybe there's something there. I'm sure raid players, for one, would not like to run into this. The other Ifrit, Enraged Ifrit, deploy damage enemy by 5. Okay, that's what it is right now. Increase the value by 1 for each construct you play this game. Ooh, okay. So is this going to be like... Well, I guess we'll look at the other constructs, but I'm guessing what they're going to do is they're all going to have some effect. Kind of like the Legacy. Was it Legacy? On the dragons? And then each time you play one of them, the other one's abilities get stronger, so your ordering on them is going to be kind of important. Curious to see. But this seems cool. I like the change here. So instead of being capped at 5, I think if there's 6 constructs, this is the last one you play. Use this capped at 10. 10 is a lot of damage. Even 7, like 6, 7, and 8 are all really good damage thresholds to reach. This, I think, will be good now. What if they're going to change Regis then? Or the other 4 damage guys? Well, we'll see. So I'm pretty sure Regis is still at 4. So I'm misremembering. Yeah, he's still at 4 in Banish, so hopefully he gets a little love. Anyway, we're on Skellige Pathfinder. Power from 7 to 4. Fun fact, guys, we're gonna... Whatever the Skellige Pathfinder is, whatever the change is, we're gonna play it, because this is my first premium legendary in the entire game. Right now, though, he just does the +1 a turn, which is not ideal. Wait, is this right? Power from 7 to 4? Pretty sure his power is 6. Whatever. Revision cost from 9 to 10. Deploy, destroy an enemy. So he's a 4 for 10. Destroy an enemy unit with a category not in your starting deck. Ooh, now that's cool. So basically, if you're making a Witcher deck, which will probably be best in a Witcher deck because you have access to it off of Geralt Coin. If you're playing a Witcher deck and you only have Witchers in your deck, any unit that's not a Witcher you can destroy. This is an extremely powerful card. Even if you're just playing a random deck, what's a random deck? What were we playing lately? Bounty. So we're playing Bounty. The opponent is not going to have any Witch Hunters. I guess the primary card would be like Human or whatever, right? So we've got Witcher, Human. I guess if you're playing a Monsters deck, Monsters does not have good control, right? The opponent is not going to probably have a Beast. I guess maybe Fukusha on a Melusian or something, but there's a lot of potential for this, and this seems really good. Because there's a good chance your opponent's strongest card is not going to have the same primary category as yours. This seems really good. I can't wait to try this out. Frenzied Dow. Ability change to deploy, play a Rock Barrage from your deck. So 1 Rock Barrage. Increased by 1 for each construct you played this game. Okay, so Frenzied Dow is going to throw a Rock Barrage, potentially 2. I guess it starts at 1. Rock Barrage is actually an interesting card. It's got 4 damage and movement. This was played at some point in movement decks, which was hilarious. Like, I know people played this at some point, but it was funny. But this card's actually not that bad. It's just that it doesn't fit in anything, and it costs too many provisions. However, if we're playing it for free out of our deck with Frenzied Dow, which is a 7 for 7 by the way, because that didn't get changed, you can play this at 7 that does 8 damage on 2 different targets with movement. That is amazing. That makes it worth playing Rock Barrage and Frenzied Dow. It's totally worth it. And if there's no barrages available, you move an enemy unit to the other own set, which is its base ability right now. So it keeps that ability if you have no rock barrages. Otherwise, you're doing those 2 rock barrages. This is incredibly strong. This is probably the best card in the Dow deck. Construct deck, whatever you want to call it. This is cool. I like this. It's going to be really strong, though. So keep in mind, it also thins your deck by 2. So this is a 7 for 7 that deals 8 damage across 2 targets, potentially moving 2 targets, and thins your deck by 2. This is incredibly good. I think it's what the Construct deck needs, but man, this is a powerful card now. No power provision change either. It's kind of crazy. I can't wait to see how it works out. Geralt Ard, power from 3 to 4, from 10 to 9. Okay. So he still gets his 10 value, right? It's 2 damage on the push, if I recall. Unless they buffed him at some point. Yeah, it's 2 damage. So he'll now get 10 value and 3 movements, and he can fit into Golden Necker decks. Interesting. Not sure that makes him viable overall, but maybe in movement for Scoia'tael we can see something there. I'm imagining you're going to play the Construct stuff with the Rock Barrage. That has synergy there too. We'll see how that works out. I like changes to Ard. Ard I think is one of the more interesting Geralts just because it has its effect is more... it's more niche, but I like that. Like, it's more interesting to me that way instead of just destroy stuff. Gregua de Gorgon. I don't know why I said that funny. Death Blow boost changed from 5 to 8. Ooh, that means we're getting +3. He was 10 for 9, right? I guess him to 13. Oh, he was 9. 9 for 9 with a damage. So yeah, 10 for 9. Now he's going to be a 12 for 9 with a damage. Is that good enough? Like, he got nerfed right after he came out for being really strong. I don't know if this is enough to make him really strong again, but as a point slam card, it's worth noting that Skellige loves its point slam, right? And in Patricidal Fury, you can just spawn a Siren with 1 health on the opponent's board. Not sure that I'll see play there, but I'm liking him getting a change. I kind of... Like, he was obviously a little too strong when he came out, but the nerf to him was insane. And he just never saw play again. So, Ivo. We're changing Ivo's ability. He was the 2 damage Witcher guy, right? Yeah, we had some fun with him. That's 1 point. So, power change from 5 to 1. Alright, he's going to boost himself. I'm calling it. Deploy. Boost self. Yeah, there it is. By 0. Increase this value for each card you played this round. So, this is a Nilfgaard. Yeah, it's not Nilfgaard, but Nilfgaard's going to love it more than anyone else. If you're playing Assimilate, you can probably play 2 cards a turn. If you have a long round where you play 2 cards a turn, potentially more, like if you're copying Nausicaa Sarge, you can like 3 cards a turn. Who knows? If you're playing as Northern Realms with Illusionist on Reaver Scouts, who knows how many cards you can play a turn, but... Yeah, so if you play 20 cards, so 2 cards a turn, that's probably unlikely. Let's say we play 16 cards, like a 10-card round. So 17, he's still 9 provisions, right? Ooh, this has some potential. This has some potential. I think Assimilate will like this. Some other decks might like this too. He's neutral. Well, which your decks like him? They spawn, really. But we'll see. Interesting change. Hopefully the Witcher decks get some more synergy now that they've lost Ivo. Because he probably not fit in them, but we'll see. Marlene de Tratz Amara. Doomed. Order, if not doomed, gain resilience. I'm gonna be honest with you, I forgot who Marlene is. I kind of figured. I had a thought that was the spoon lady. Okay, so So she's doomed. Yeah, so she has doomed, order, if not doomed, gain resilience. That's good. This ability didn't do much, right? No one ever played this, but essentially what she does now is she comes out doomed. If you purify that doomed off, you can give her resilience. 6 for 6 resilience has some real potential, but you have to use a purify on it. I think this will be good enough to see play in some decks. Like decks with a lot of purifies might run her. Although I don't, the deck with the most purifies is Heist Elves, right? Heist Waylay Elves, but I don't think they'll play her. But maybe 6 with resilience is no small amount. Curious. Monsters also has a bronze resilience, but that's a wild hunt card, and they're gonna want to play Devotion probably, so I don't think that'll be in there. Although you've played there's non-wild hunt Devotion nowadays. I don't know. I like this change though. The other ability didn't get used. This is at least interesting. It takes setup. It has a pretty good payoff. Nivellen, power from 5 to 8, provisions from 6 to 8. So okay, so he's the move 3, right? I think they were adjacent. No, I don't think so. Glad to see him getting some love. Of the short stories, the Nivellen one is one of my favorites. Yes, it is 3 adjacents for him. So 8 and 8. Move all units on a row to the other row. Okay, so row lock stuff. Not going to be too happy with this. Also sets up row punish, which sadly you don't see too much nowadays. I remember back, a lot of remembering in this video, but yeah, when I first started playing, there was a lot of stuff you could do where you'd try and bait your opponent into playing into one row and then get big value from like a lacerate or something. This lets you set that up. You just push them all into a row, lacerate, crushing trap too, stuff like that. Maybe some big row punish coming back. Regis, the one that does the damage, and then if Death Blow does the damage again. Maybe we can make some something with that, but either way, 8 for 8 is good value, and moving all units to the row is also really nice. I like to point out, by the way, that one card that really is not gonna like Nivellen is can we get a refresh here? Wow. Is Reaver Hunters, because they're melee. You can Nivellen all the Reaver Hunters ranged if they haven't filled the row up with Reaver Scouts yet, and they are not gonna like that. They'll probably be able to spawn a whole bunch more, but I think Nivellen into Reaver Scouts, really good counter. So that's kind of cool. Primordial Dow. Shield boosts self by 0, increases value by 1 for each construct you play this game. So it's staying the same, so 9 for 9, and now boosts itself for each construct you played the game. You might play this one early. Well, obviously you're going to play the, I think you want to play the Frenzied one early, but this potentially just comes down to 15. I know, yeah. Maybe 14 or so for its value. But you might play early for like 12 for 9. I don't know, this is if you're playing in the DAOs, you're probably playing all the DAOs, and this one might be one we play earlier. Regis Bloodlust, I said I hoped they gave him a buff. Power from 4 to 20, oh boy. Let's see what's going on. When you lose a card, oh wait, ability change to when you lose a round while this card's on the battlefield, banish your deck. Okay, so if we go round 1 and play Regis, and we lose the round, we lose the game. You know, I don't mind this. This is kind of funny. Let's see what else we do. In your hand or deck, banish self. By the way, Battlefield one, you're definitely going to, if you can just play this and just overwhelming hunger it or consume it, it's what you're going to want to do. In your hand or deck, so you haven't played it yet, it banishes itself. So he's only in your deck. Basically, you can only use him while you haven't lost a round yet. In your graveyard, banish the top 3 cards of your deck. So you play him round 1, you win round 1, you lose round 2, and you lose 3 cards off the top of your deck. This is cool. So, I like this because of how many decisions it gives you. Assuming you draw him. Because you play him early for that 20 points, and you're going to consume him, right? Theoretically. Like, the best case scenario is just play this and consume it. Really good for monsters in that case. And then it'll be in your graveyard and you lose 3 cards off the top of your deck. You might lose something good, might lose something bad. you're playing Nilfgaard, you can play this. I don't know how you take advantage of the 20 power then. I guess you just have to win round 1 when you play with the 20 power. So you win round 1 with this 20. Then goes to your graveyard. You don't play your Scoia'tael. Wait. No, this is cool. We're going to try this out. I think monsters will be his home, but 20 for 20 value, 20 for 10. It has to be good somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Not to mention, you don't even have to worry about this graveyard part here if you just consume it with Azrael, right? You like play this for 20 round 1, go to round 2, it goes to your graveyard, you Azrael it, and you have 21 point Azrael. I think Monsters has a lot of potential here. Obviously with Tatterwing, not so much. Tainted Ale, so glad this thing got changed. It's the OG, like, no unit card. Zeal Order, damage unit by 2, and infuse it whenever this unit receives a boost, damage by 1, charge 3. I like it. It makes it a little bit better. The card got power crept so much, but now it's whenever it receives a boost, damage self by 1. You're not going to be boosting the card because if you boost it, taking a damage is basically nothing. But if the opponent wants to boost that card, maybe you can do some good stuff with this. If you can get this set up and they're not playing Vernon Roche, maybe against Priestess this does something, although they have some Veil cards. I like this change. I'm not sure it'll see much play, but in a really boost-heavy meta, maybe you see this played. And it's definitely better than before. The Last Wish, provision cost from 8 to 6. Thank you. The Last Wish, by the way, if you don't know, The Last Wish is a tutor card, which has never been... It's just always been too risky for what it costs, right? So it was 8. It's a sigh. Look at the top 2 of your deck. Play 1, banish the other. Right? That's really risky because you could see 2 good cards and lose 1. And it costs 8 provisions. However, at 6 provisions, we're almost in excommunication territory where it's so cheap you might as well play it just to look through the top couple cards of your deck. This is also really helpful if you're trying to hyper thin, especially a non-Nilfgaard hyper thin, which is something I've been trying to make work for a while. But if you're not playing Nilfgaard, it can be kind of troubling to thin your whole deck. I guess not for Skellige, because they can discard a whole bunch, but this is another way to get through your deck, right? It draws you a card essentially by playing one, and then it banishes one and gets through 2 cards in your deck. That could be some good consistency. I think this will actually probably see some play. Like, thinning 2 cards isn't bad. It's not exactly thinning 2 cards, but, you know, at 6 provisions, maybe this is good. We're going to be trying it out at some point. There's a lot of cards to try out. Armorer's Workshop. Billy, okay. Armorer's Workshop's like 3 adjacent ones gain an armor and a boost, right? Oh, this is like Gwent trivia right now for cards no one ever sees played. Boost 3 adjacent units to give them armor. Yeah, I was right. It's 2 and 2 armor, so you really need armor value for this thing. Sometimes you see this in Dwarves, but pretty much never played. If you have Armorer's Workshop in your graveyard, boost 3 units by 3 and get them 3 with armor instead. So if you play 2 Armorer's Workshops, the second one's better. I wonder if we could be funny and go Simlas, double Armorer's Workshop in Dwarves, and just try and put it on 3 Berserkers. I mean, I don't think that'd be good, but it could be kind of funny. Maybe in Dwarves we'll do this. You don't have to play the first one. You could, like, discard it. I guess the discard is more Skellige relevant than Dwarves. Dwarves are definitely going to play both. But in Skellige, if we discard one to play the second one, we get 9 value and then 9 armor. That's actually quite good. It costs 5 provisions. 9 for 5 is nice. With the armor as an upside, potentially higher. You could get a ceiling of 19 or 18 off of this. Of course, the previous one had ceiling of 12 as well because of the armor, but yeah, I don't know. The 3 by 3, 9 is really good. It gets you 15. It gives you 15 for 10. It's not bad. We're trying this out, I think, in Dwarves. Maybe something else. Inspirational Ballad. Oh, this card got a buff, all right. So give Vitality 6, I think, is all it used to do. Well, yeah, that's all it used to do. And now it's to a random dwarf, witcher, human, and vampire. We're gonna have some fun with the good old company. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. But obviously, I don't think I have to say this, but the ceiling on this is insane. This is a 4 Persian card with a ceiling of 24. Vitality, not the best point slam card, but this has some real potential now. What deck plays all of these, though, is the question. I don't think any do, but maybe you can make a deck built around this. Probably need additional synergy, but, you know, I would not mind a deck focused around the Witcher company. We'll see. Oxenfurt, I don't think there will be, but, you know, it might be a funny thing to try. And if there ever is a Witcher, Dwarf, Human, and Vampire, I think, here's one thing to mention, right? Peller is a human, pretty much goes in any deck if you want it. Witcher, you can always play, and I think this is a good idea, to play the new Skellige Pathfinder, just for control, right? That's 2 categories. Then if you're playing a Dwarf or a Vampire deck, you can play Ballad. Probably not Vampire, so they want bleeding synergy, but maybe in Dwarves you can do something here. We'll be trying this out for sure. Oxenfurt Scholar, 3 to 4 power. Boost self by 1 for each card, provision cost 11 or higher in your starting deck. Okay, so 11 or higher, what's a really high-end deck that runs a lot of high provision cards? Some of the Skellige ones. I think you're not going to get more than 4 or 5 of these. Dragons plays what? Saskia, say Synthesis, Blaze, I mean. This, you know what I'm saying. Saskia, if you're playing the control. They play Okfist, he's an 11. I think they play 5. So potentially in, for example, Dragons, you're dropping this for 9 for 4. It's pretty good. Maybe there's something here. Although, you're probably not playing both Saskias if you're playing this, because you're losing out on tags for the thinning. The commander, what I'm talking about. I don't know, it seems pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Wow, we're going to speed this up. There's a lot of changes. Go a little faster. Definitely separate these out here. But yeah, this seems like its potential. Monsters. Adastriga. Power from 5 to 6. Thank you. Provision from 7 to 9. Ability change to Zeal Order Predator. Ooh, we got the good old Predator keyword. They said they were going to use it some more. So she's a 6 for 9. She consumes a token. If it was allied, you double the boost. What is the highest power token? I guess it doesn't matter, because consuming an opponent's tokens also double, essentially, because you get their value gone. Can you imagine this in a Death Wish mirror match? Can you just imagine that? What happens a lot there is they play Arrakis Queen on Detlef and then leader it, and then all of a sudden you're staring at a 15 power token. Wow. This is gonna be a nightmare against Death Wish, but you know, this is cool. So say you get rid of a 3 power token, it's 12 for 9. It's not too bad. There are some really powerful tokens. The one off of the Scoia'tael scenario is usually at 10 or an 11. That's insane. I'm just not sure there's enough tokens to really make this good, but if you're playing tokens, you can get value off of it. I guess Ekamara is the token that comes to mind, right? That's 6, it's 12. I don't know, this is interesting at least. It's at least interesting. Alpha Werewolf has the curse tag, okay. I don't know why it didn't. Power change from 6 to 4. Yeah, 6 for 6 with Thrive with Immune. Like, this card was not very good. No one played this. But now it's going to be a 4 for 8 with ability change. Did it lose Immune? Pretty sure it's Immune, right? Yeah, it's got Immune. Doesn't look like it lost it. Melee, boost a beast in your hand by the number of cards in your hand. Oh, that's pretty good. So we just throw this down turn 1. And then we click its ability to do a +9 on a beast in our hand. That gives it 13 for 8. Good value. Carryover value. There's definitely potential here. This seems like it could be quite good. But the monsters beasts, if we take a look. Go faction monsters. Oops, not beasts. We have to do tags over here. Let's try that again. That's not correct. Okay. We go to monsters. You can boost your Tatterwing. That's pretty good. This isn't great to boost. Like, there's some good cards in here. I think most likely you're going to be boosting your Tatterwing even higher with this. Pretty good. Or you can boost all beasts by 1. I think that's most relevant to Plague Maiden, right? It's Plague Maiden or Were-Rat. Were-Rat spawns a bunch of the rats, then you boost them. Same thing with Plague Maiden, she spawns a bunch of rats. It's pretty cool. Maybe like a beast deck. I'm hoping they finally got around to making them good. Mortnart, armor from 4 to 0, provision from 7 to 10. Oh, it's no longer in order. Deploy, banish all units from your graveyard, boost self by 1 for each. Okay. Mortnart decks coming in. I didn't mean to click on that. So for Mortnart, which has a U in it, let's spell this. Can we, So this can come down, and if you have... Usually what you do with Mortnart is you'd purify a bunch of tokens. So say you'd be playing relics, you purify a bunch of tokens, but you can also just spawn a bunch of rats, like Plague Maiden, and just go Plague Maiden, Deathwish Plague Maiden, get 7 rats, play Were-Rat, just purify all those rats, and then you get like 30 cards in your graveyard from Mortnart. But it had order, so you always had to play this behind Defender, pretty much always with Lilith's Omen, right? You'd Lilith's Omen this in the Defender, because Lilith's Omen wouldn't do much with the Rupture, and the Defender survives it. And then the opponent couldn't answer this. But now we've got some potential. You can still do it with Lilith's Omen, because it doesn't change his base power for the Rupture. But you can Lilith's Omen it and something else as an insane finisher. By the way, can you imagine Lilith's Omen on this and Tatterwing? Because Tatterwing is base power 1 too, right? You imagine the finisher of Lilith's Omen Tatterwing Mortnart? We're going to try that out at some point, because that's like 50 points. That's insane. We're going to definitely try and play that. So Plague Maiden also includes new ability. Ooh, okay. Order destroy a rat, then poison enemy. Oh, we're giving monsters poisons. Every turn we can do a poison. By the way, it doesn't say friendly rat. So if you're playing Noonwraith, you give them rats, then you destroy their rats for -1 point and poison. Ooh, that's very cool. Very cool. However, most of the time you get the rats by triggering her Death Wish, so you're going to want to play more rat cards. I like this. This is going to be really fun. It's going to be a little bit frustrating, I think, though, to play against, because you can't interact with Plague Maiden. You just lose a unit every turn. But that's like against playing against Felipe, anyway. And they have more poisons, so I guess it's not that big a deal. Cockatrice, power change from 4 to 2. Ability change, deploy boost self by 2 for each adjacent beasts. Predator, poison an enemy unit. Ooh, that is pretty cool. Predator, by the way, for anyone who forgot, for some reason, it's when they're lower power than you. I think, what's it called? Stalker, right? Only target units with power lower than itself. Oh, I guess that means our plans for Adastriga. Yeah, so for Adastriga, I don't think I mentioned this, but you're gonna have to boost her to use the effect of the Predator on the really big tokens, but I imagine you just play Carapace, double click the leader on it, and then you can get rid of those big ones. I should have mentioned that in that card's part. You guys are gonna comment that now, but I didn't, but it's saying it now. You do have to boost that for that. So anyway, the Cockatrice comes down for 6, and then it poisons, potentially. Monsters poison, we're gonna be playing it. Is King Cobra a beast, by the way? I know, because I think it's the Cobra in the card. That's the card, right? Yeah, it's a beast. It's the Cobra, not the guy. Oh yeah, that's going in this deck too. Monsters poisons. We're gonna play it. I'm not sure how good it is. 5 poisons. 4 poisons plus Plague Maiden. I don't know if that's enough. Trying it out. Maybe Morale will be thrown in there. It's gonna be fun. Werewolf has the curse tag, thank goodness. Power from 5 to 4, changed ability deploy. Predator, boost self by an enemy unit's power. So hypothetically, you play this, you click a 4, or a 3 I mean, on the opponent's board, and you go to 7. But if you boost this in your hand, then you could pick bigger things. For example, we play Alpha Werewolf, not necessarily just on Tatterwing now. We give this thing +9 boost. The opponent plays a 10-point card, for example, for a finisher. Well, as our finisher, we play this, click a 10, and then we have a 23. Yeah, Werewolf and Alpha Werewolf, that's a good combo. We'll be trying that one. There's a lot of interesting things here. I like it. Nilfgaard. Here we go. Vilgefortz is getting a change. I already know what the change is. I don't actually know what the change is, but I guarantee it's changing the summon off the top so we don't lose games randomly to pulling our gold cards. Oh, it's still going to summon a card. Oh, I thought that might just take away the summon effect. I thought that might make it like lowest provision card or something. Destroy an enemy unit, then summon your opponent summons the top bronze unit. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I thought they might take the lowest provision card, kind of like they do with some other guys, like Ihorquax. I thought they might just pull a lowest provision card, but it's going to be just top bronze. All right, this is a very needed change. It was so... I'm going to say it was really dumb that there was a 10% chance you lost the game instantly every time your opponent played Vilgefortz when you're playing a deck that relied on a certain bronze or a certain gold card. It's really dumb. Good thing that got changed. However, anyone who's playing Traveling Priestess decks, better watch out that those priestesses don't get pulled out. But yeah, this is a good change. It had to happen. Lythwin Arbalist. Power from 3 to 4. Whenever an enemy gains a unit gains a stat during turn, damage it by 1. Okay, so right now this thing just gave 3 bleeding, right? Yeah, it just gives 3 bleeding and then conspiracy damage, whatever. Now it's going to have 3 bleeding with 4 value. And when the opponent gains a stat during turn, damage by 1. Now it's actually good. Now we can be seeing this in some of these ball decks. More synergies between soldiers and statuses. I like it. I like it. I like it. It takes a little setup. The only thing to keep in mind is this works much better with pikemen than poisons, because if you're bleeding it, it's getting lower, and this is pinging it. Where if you're putting poisons on it, you're making your poisons do less value by the damage. So, not necessarily something you want to combo with poisons, but other statuses maybe. Nice, I like it. I like that it doesn't necessarily work really well with poisons, because we already have really good poisons in Nilfgaard, but maybe with some bleeding and stuff, play some more soldiers that aren't just point slam, spam marines, spam bombs, spam Renfrey. Northern Realms, Banard Tutor. Okay, this card, I've gotten this card so many times off of Rune Word, and every time you get it, it feels so bad. Let's see, power change from 2 to 4, provision cost from 4 to 5. When you play a unique special card, boost self by 2. Okay. So it's a 4 for 5. Each time you play a unique special, it goes from 2 to 3. Huh. I don't remember, but I think unique is the first time the card's been played, not that it has to be a gold card, because it would say gold card. So I think this is, like, if we're playing special cards, each time we play a different special card gets +2. I think that's what that means. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. But I think that's what that is. And if that's the case, after 2 or 3 specials, we're really getting to good value here. Interesting. Kind of reminds me of the Scoia'tael one where you play 3 specials, it gets +6. But that's a 4 provision one. So for this, you're going to want to get more than that. Otherwise, it's not as good. However, playing 4 specials is not that hard, really. Especially with stuff like Gerhardt. And what I'm thinking of here is we go to a short round, right? We put down our defender guy. We put him down, put this behind it, put our Kira Metz behind it. For a short round, we'll put down the Kira Metz first. Then we play this for our finisher, click the Kira Metz, play like 4 spells, and this gets up to a 12. You can do stuff like that. That might be pretty good. I like this change. We'll see. It just, every time you saw a Banner tutor before, which happened quite a bit from Rude World, you're like, wow, this card's bad. Anyway, when a Sergeant number of charges from 2 to 3. Ooh, okay. So, that is you, right? So it's got the boost. It's got Formation, and it has 3 boosts. If you play this range, it's a 4 with 3 boost 1 charges. That's 7 for 4 with targeting boosts on what you want. That's interesting. Maybe we can get some... Oh. I was going to say we can get some Tridom Infantries that aren't Onager decks, or Traveling Priestess decks. I would like that. Reaver Scout from 5 to 6. This had to happen. Reaver Scout was ridiculous. Reaver Scout was like the best bronze ever. Pretty close. Maybe not ever, but it's pretty close. Just spamming Reavers, spamming Centurion Royal Guards. You just spam whatever the heck you want. Just put it in random decks. Spam your anything with Meter Generator, you just put it in. And then you spammed your Lyrian Arbalist or your Lyrian Landsknechts later on. Just made more copies of them. The only sad thing about this is that it'll be less common for me to illusionist my opponent's Reaver Scouts and keep making more illusionists, because that is hilarious. But this had to happen. Good to see. Temerian Infantry. Formation, boost an allied unit by 2 for each remaining charge of your leader. Okay. So if we go to Temerian, is this the... this one? Yeah. This card, I saw this card exactly once off of a Rune Mage into the Northern Realm Runestone because I was playing Skellige and I played Commander's Horn on something. I don't remember what deck I was playing. I just know it had Commander's Horn in it. And they made this and then blasted one of my guys for like 6 damage. That's all I know. That's the only time I ever saw this card. But now we've got... So theoretically you can go... The most common result's probably going to be 4 charges. Or 5 if they don't kill your Radovid. On a high leader count one. Or in like Pincer Maneuver you get like 4. So say you got 4 leader charges. This is a +8. It's going to be power 3, right? Yeah, this is some real potential. I like it. I like how it makes you think if you want to use your leader or not earlier, because it's just become at this point that a lot of Northern Realms decks just spam their leaders and then play Renfrey. So I like having this as an option that it's really good value if you decide not to spam your leader abilities and then get some good boosting. It's pretty interesting. Scoia'tael. Oh, we only got 1 change here. That's kind of a surprise. Vrihad Saboteur. You have controlled artifacts spawn a Deadeye. Okay, that is much better than it was before. Because I believe it was just like 3 damage, right? Oh, it was boost an allied unit by 3. Yeah, it's even worse. But yeah, spawning a Deadeye. That is way better. This is actually really good just for trap decks. Especially if you play Angus, which you're going to play if in a trap deck. Because it comes down as a 3 and spawns a 4 powered Deadeye. That is a good card now, I think. And the Deadeye synergy, this is really nice. It also works pure with Heist. I think we're going to put this into our Heist deck. I like it. Skellige. Ulderic on Brokvar. I tried to say Ulderic, right? But I don't think I did. Udalric. My pronunciation guides. Power change from 4 to 8. Ability change Berserk 7. Set an enemy unit's power to match your power. Ooh, now that's pretty cool. So what we can do here is we can hit him with something like our Sigvald down to 1, set an enemy power to 1. That is a very strong effect. Also worth noting, it's only Berserk 7, so you only have to take 1 damage. If the opponent's playing something giant, like, just say, what's a really big card? Morwood. They played Morwood. It's like an 18. They played Regis for like 20. So they have like a 19-point Regis. You only have to damage him by 1 to get the Berserk triggered. Just say he's at 7. You're still doing minus 12 for them, plus 12 for you. Or not plus 12, you're doing minus 12 to them. It's not swapping like Ivar, but that's still good value. Against really tall things, you don't have to get him very low for his Berserk ability. This is interesting. I like it. I like it against, especially because we've been playing quite a few Toussaint decks lately, right? They get to they play like a bunch of 30-point guys, and then you just knock them back down with this. Pretty cool. Demon Pirate Captain. That is the bleeding guy before, right? Oh no, it's Corsair. I'm thinking of Captain is this guy. So damage, yeah, this guy. Okay, I get this pirates confused sometimes. The demon pirates, because a lot of them. So deploy Bloodthirst 2, gain Zeal, damage unit by 1. Okay. Okay, so the Bloodthirst effect's changing from 3 damage to 3 charges of 1 damage. That's definitely better. That's actually, if you can trigger that, you can set up a lot of Bloodthirst. Huh. Interesting. And then Disgraced Brawler, Bloodthirst from 3-1. Okay, that's much better. Disgraced Brawler was so just... Look, the Bloodthirst 3 lock self, no one's going to do that. Bloodthirst 1, though, maybe you can play this as a 7 for 4. This really, actually, this will probably help the Bloodthirst decks, because they don't have great point slam without Bloodthirst of high amounts. Bloodthirst 1's pretty easy to trigger, but that doesn't do damage, so maybe not. This has some potential. We're going to try an all-in Bloodthirst deck. We're going to try it instead of, because right now all people do is like Bloodthirst Sove, that's it. And not even Bloodthirst Sove. Sove doesn't say Bloodthirst, it just says for each damage unit. Unless I'm stupid, but I think that's all it says. Yeah, it doesn't even say Bloodthirst. And people didn't even use him with Bloodthirst. They just used him for tempo off of Arnulf. That was it. Syndicate. Evitsar and Elidia. Power from 5 to 6. This is the 1 damage for conditional 2 damage card. With Horde. 5 to 6 provision, so it's a 6 for 6. With Horde 6. At the end of your turn, damage a random enemy by 2. Okay. Death blow, gain 2 coins. So back in the day, as in until like now, they used to have one of these engines that did 1 damage or conditionally 2 damage in every single faction, right? You got your Nithral, you've got your Black Rayla, the ranged guy for Syndicate, or the ranged guy for Scoia'tael, Pavko, like they all had one of these. And I'm glad we're seeing that they're getting a little bit differentiated, because they're all basically the same card, just with different factions. So I'm glad we're seeing differentiation between them. I like this. And then the Death Blow, gain 2 coins. If you're lucky getting those 2 coins, 2 damage a turn is more of an engine thing than a control thing. But you know, Horde 6 is a decent amount, but 2 damage a turn, potentially 4 value for getting coins, could be pretty good. I like this. It's not the most consistent thing, which isn't my favorite, but I like the idea. I think it'll be pretty fun to play with. Tamara Stranger. The card I pronounced most wrong, I think, ever. Tamara. I think it's Tamara. So power from 5 to 6, vision cost from 6 to 6. Thank you. So I like this. I think I suggested this at some point as well. A long time ago. I think a lot of people suggested this. But it's just so much easier to fit her in your deck. Alright, she's 5 for 7. Originally she's 4 for 7. Even 4 for 8. But tribute 3, all your witch hunters get +1. 6 for 6. Our bounty deck has a 6 provision slot. We can just slot her in there if we want. Try it out. I like it. I went down the Wheel of Fortune by accident here. Let's read it. Wheel of Fortune. Provision cost changed from 5 to 6. By the way, for Tamara, she was actually okay as 5 for 7 if you had a lot of witch hunters. But like if you were playing the witch hunter guy that puts out bounty, the 4 provision one, over Slanders, it was okay because you had so many. But now at 6 for 6, I think it's actually not bad. Anyway, back to Wheel of Fortune. Provision cost from 5 to 6. We're going to go mad RNG or we're going to go less RNG. Damage enemy unit by 0. At the end of the turn, increase. At the end of the turn, while in the hand or deck, change this value to a random number between 1 and 10. I like it. You never know which turn you're going to have your big control on, but you probably will have a big control ability on a turn. Okay. I like it. The one thing to keep in mind with this is that 8, 9, and 10 are basically the same number because they kill pretty much anything you're going to want to kill. Unless you're playing it for pure value at 10, which you might. But if you're using it for control, 8, 9, and 10 are basically the same number. And then 1 through 3 are basically the same numbers, and you're not going to play it because it won't kill anything. So, actually doesn't have that much RNG then. I mean, it does have RNG, but it's kind of cool. It's no longer just, I'm going to play this. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. Now it's, I don't know which turn I'm going to play this on. The turn I played on, it'll probably be useful. I like that. Arena Andrega. Power from 6 to 4, vision cost from 5 to 4. So it's a 4 for 4. Deploy. Gain coins equal to the amount an allied unit is damaged. So this combos with Insanity. There's not much that does combo with Insanity, so I like it. There's not that many Insanity cards either. Insanity, right? So most commonly, the only one you like saw was sometimes you saw bouncers in the Soundmeter decks, and then Bloody Good Friends is one you can trigger pretty well. That's usually in Collusion. Never seen this card played in my entire life. What a card. Igor the Hook is the other one. Sometimes you do with Insanity, right? I think he is the best case for this Arena Andrega. Because what you do is he's got cooldown when you play him, spawn a card. The next turn the opponent doesn't kill him. You click his V5 but with Insanity, he goes down to 1. You play Arena Andrega and get 5 coins back. I think that's the best case. Also worth noting that your opponent will damage your cards. So if the opponent damages your cards, you can then end Arena Andrega. Not sure how good this is. Not sure how consistently we'll be playing it. But it could be something to try out. Is it a cut-up, by the way? It's a cut-up. Maybe we can play it in Collusion with Bloody Good Friends. We'll see. Last up here, we have Mutant Killer. Power change from 3 to 4. Ability change to deploy boost self by 1 for each poisoned unit on the battlefield. So this is the card that we also did no damage, basically. Like, it did damage, but it was the worst horde damage card. Like, the Blind Eye one's just better. The Tribute one, you could pay that Tribute, negate the Tribute paying, and then do 3 damage. The Renegade Mage, I think it was. No one played this. But now, after you play a bunch of poisons, so either you've got your own Gellert going, and you're poisoning all your own guys, or you've played your Salamander, you can play this, get like +5. It's a 4 for 4. This actually has pretty good potential. You don't see that many all-in self-poison decks, just because with like, what's the Backstreet Alchemist? I forget what it is. There's the ones that poison themselves, like +2 a turn while they're poisoned. You don't see them very often, but this will be really good with those. Very interesting. That's all of the changes. Some very cool changes. Very cool changes. We're going to be trying out quite a bit of stuff, and once the new cards come out, they're probably out by the time I finish recording this and uploading it, so the new cards will be in a video as well. But hope you guys enjoyed. We should probably check over the game fixes just before we leave. Verification can target face-down traps. That's nice. Dagon Promise Infusion is now cleared from units whose Death Wish ability takes them immediately back to the battlefield. Oh yeah, I saw this. I think if you put it on like Detlef and you killed your Detlef, it'd come back with the Infuse on it. You could trigger it again. Yeah, Dem Event selected cards now shown correctly. Sometimes you just couldn't see what Dem Event picked. That was annoying. Corexinus' sound is fixed. Temple Congregation shows its spawned cards. That's nice. Alright. Well, that's the changes, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And this is a long one, but let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you in the next one. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.